Oh my goodness, there's so many buttons to push that I forgot to start the live stream. So in other words, all you missed was the countdown. I promise. That's all you missed. Hello, how are you? I appreciate you making time. Welcome to this edition of At the Mic. I'm your host, Keith Malinak. Oh my gosh, the stack of paper today. I have killed an entire forest printing up for today. Hopefully we'll get to it all. We shall see. Don't forget that the Thursday live stream, if you missed it yesterday, Steve Friend, what is wrong with the FBI part 2? We did that deep dive. Oh my gosh, so much information from Steve every time. Next week's deep dive at 2 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, September 19th. I'm going to talk to Ward Clark. It's going to be all about Alaska. I am going to get an education. Hopefully you will too. You think you know a lot about Alaska. I reached out to him to try to get a conversation set up on an article he wrote. Had nothing to do with Alaska. By the end of the conversation, I didn't want to talk about that topic, which was very, very deep, very heavy. And I said, you know what? Let's just do a show about Alaska. So Ward Clark is going to be the Thursday deep dive coming up next week. Next Friday, September 20th at this time on the Friday live stream, we're going to have some fun with some Pat Heads, Toby McAvoy, Carol Remarks, Fury and Energy, good people, members of the Pat Gray audience over at The Blaze. They will be my 3 guests on the Friday live stream. And without further delay, let me bring in my 2 guests for today's Friday live stream. Brian Sack, former colleague of mine over at The Blaze. George Huntley, former lead guitarist for my favorite band of all time, the Connells. Gentlemen, thanks for making time today. I appreciate you stopping in.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Okay, cool. Brian is in Long Island, New York. Wait a minute. Is it on Long Island or in Long Island? What's the proper way to say that, Brian?
I'm on Long Island in the North Fork.
Wow, very specific.
The end of Long Island, it kind of ends like there's the bottom fork is the Hamptons, but I don't like the Hamptons. And then the North Fork is on the upper side. It has vineyards and stuff.
Okay, very good.
Where the wine is.
Okay, all right, very good. And I know George.
Neighbors?
Huh?
Do you have any famous neighbors?
Like actually, I do. Yeah, my I don't know who they are personally, but my kids do. There's a band called AJR that bought a house next to us. It's some brothers, and they all play together or something. I don't know them, but my sons do, and they were very excited to find that out.
Here in the South, we would just say, "Hey, Junior."
Hey, Junior.
Hey, Junior.
So we've got George Huntley, as in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Still here.
Yeah. What's the temperature right now down there?
Man, it's cold and rainy and cold.
Wait, what does that mean?
70? 73, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
that
we got a little spinoff from Francine, I think. It wasn't supposed to be like this, but it's been raining cats and dogs here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it's gorgeous here, if that's any consolation.
Well, I'm glad because you might be getting something soon.
Oh, really?
Right?
Maybe.
I will say that we're getting above 100 again next week here in Texas, and I'm not a fan of that. No,
we're in fall mode now. It feels like fall here.
Yeah, fall mode's good.
Yeah.
Make me so jealous, gentlemen. Okay, so Brian, the previous version of At the Mic, which you can find the playlist over at youtube.com/atthemic. Look for the life stories section. Brian was episode 44, if you would like to check that out. And George, you were episode 118. So if you guys want to hear their awesome life stories, great guys to get to know. And Brian has a podcast that he does with
who doesn't? Who
doesn't have a podcast? So Jack Helmuth, who has been on this show a couple times. You guys do questionable material, available at Spotify, iTunes, etc. Yeah. Can you tell us about some of the work you do with the World Central Kitchen? Great stuff you guys do. Explain what that is and how people can help out with that, Brian.
It's a humanitarian aid organization founded by Jose Andres, who's a Spanish chef who lives out in DC, and I joined them. I volunteered when Russia invaded Ukraine. My wife is Polish, so I volunteered for them, and I wound up on the Poland-Ukraine border for, well, I was giving them 2 weeks, and then they wound up liking me and hiring me as a contractor. So I was there for 2 months, and then after that, they've called me for basically, after disasters, mostly, sometimes wars, but mostly disasters. We go in and we set up a kitchen. We'll build a kitchen and start distributing food in areas. So my last recent one was Grenada. After the hurricane, there was a hurricane down there that really devastated the island of Carriacou. And so I was down there for a few weeks. Before that, I was in Morocco because of an earthquake. I've been in Turkey because of the earthquake. Maui for the wildfires.
You've covered some ground. Do you have frequent flyer miles?
I wish, but the problem is the tickets. The tickets. United Airlines pays for most of the tickets. Like they donate the tickets to the organization. So I don't get. I was really excited at first. I was like, I'm flying so much. I'm going to get so many miles, and no miles.
No. By the way, people must check out the book that you wrote in the event of my untimely death.
Demise, yeah.
Good stuff. Demise. Gosh, see, I did exactly what Glenn did when he wrote an article about the book. Screw up the title. Sorry.
That was my first book.
My untimely demise. Yes,
that's the one that held. That one holds up because it was about having my first kid. The other ones were about politics, but they're dated now. So I'm going to tell you to not buy my other books.
Don't buy my other books, y'all. Yeah. Okay. And George, I'm so excited for you because you've been working on some new music. And when is the last time you were in a recording studio before you wrote, you did these more recent one, right?
That's a good
while,
question. Huh? I mean, it was a long time, 25, 26 years ago. Well, truth be told, I've been in recording studios for little songs here and there. Caitlin Carey and I did a little promo song not too long ago in a little studio. And so I get to visit. I get to go in. Never have I, not since the mid-90s have I been in there with the intent of making a record of my songs. And it's been a real treat. There's a studio in Durham called Stadium Heights. Ryan Pickett, who, most well known for his work with My Morning Jacket. It was just magical. He just seemed to understand. When I said I heard a horn player on a song, he put me in touch with Kelly Pratt, who came in and turned out to be a multi-instrumentalist. And that's the ultimate candy store experience for a songwriter, is to have a guy come in and tell you that he listened to your bare bones song and I've got ideas, and here's a flute part that I wrote, and so you get to hear these little parts, and then you get to use them any way you want to or not use them. But this is an experience that's kind of bringing me back. Here I am in my 60s, and I haven't really done this since my 30s. So I'm very excited. Yeah.
Good for you, man. So the music will be out soon. And when it is released, it'll be, much like Brian's podcast, it'll be on iTunes, Spotify, stuff like that, right?
Right. Streaming services far and wide. Yeah. And
I know you're doing.
Well, we just had a power lunch about this.
Yeah.
And apparently nowadays you drop a single,
which it's got to be different now than it was the last time.
Yeah.
Right. Streaming services, if it's been 25 years.
Yeah. But just integrating the word drop is, I love it. So dropping the single, and we'll do that. And then we need content. Now, you guys all know about content, but guys like me were thinking, okay, content. Okay, so we need content. So that means we need footage from live shows. So we're doing some of that. And so we're going to be dropping a single here pretty soon. Now we need to figure out which of the songs is going to be a single. How do you do that?
You got to get a Snapchat too.
Got to get a Snapchat.
Boy,
So,
this is a lot of work.
It's a new world. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's that's all
well,
coming down the road.
Yeah, if you're doing recording footage from venues and stuff, I know that your next show is going to be on September 27th in Greenville, North Carolina, at the State Theater. Did I get that right?
That's right.
September 27th, Greenville, North Carolina, and that's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing you live at one of these points as well. Very cool, awesome. I can't wait, man. All righty. Yeah, and keep us updated because I want to be able to access that music when it becomes available.
I will. I'm hoping that you'll be able to come this way because we're not able to travel to Texas or to Long Island, but
next spring. I've already got it on my calendar.
You don't like the North Fork?
Yeah, no, it's not that. It's that we've got guys in the band that right now anyway they can't travel more than just a day or day trip. So
that's what happens.
That's what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens. Oh, by the way, before I forget, this morning on Pat Gray Unleashed, we got all of these awesome gifts, and I just want to say thank you over here as well to Corey in Minnesota for sending me my very own Yeti that says "At the Mike Show." You see, it's got the logo there and everything. Nice. This is high class, man, and I got it filled up, and it is it's ready to go. So thank you, Corey in Minnesota. For that awesome gift. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah. Brian is wanting his own, apparently.
Yeah, Corey, come on, Corey. Where's George's and Brian's?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so shall we do some not so rapid fire questions as we get to know you, gentlemen? Sure. Let's start off with question 1. This one's a tough one, guys. You ready? I'm going to put George on the spot first. Mr. George Huntley, jigsaw puzzle or crossword puzzle? Which do you prefer? Did
you just say crossword puzzle?
Yeah, jigsaw or crossword
puzzle. Yeah. Well, I'm a little stumped by that question because there's no neither.
It's neither. You know what?
Right. It's like basket weaving or basketball. That's an easy one. Okay. But crosswords and jigsaws. Okay. I'll take jigsaw.
Jigsaw. Okay. You're right. Hold on. You bring up a great point. What a stupid question, because my answer to this would be neither as well. Now that I think about it, jigsaws are a waste of time. Crosswords are over my head. Neither. Yes, that is a viable answer here, George.
Neither puzzle.
Brian, you can bail out on this if you'd like.
No, I do the New York Times. It's the only reason I subscribe to the New York Times is the crossword, and my wife does the cooking. And in order to get that, you have to subscribe to them, and that's a very clever model. And
can you do the Sunday? Can you make it through the Sunday crossword puzzle?
The Sunday is not the most difficult. Saturday is.
Oh, Saturday.
Sunday's the biggest. So Sunday takes more time. It's the largest, but it builds. So Monday starts off, it's easy, and it builds up. Saturday is the most difficult one, and then Sunday's the one that takes the most time. But yeah, I mean that's my. If I'm in town, if I'm home, basically my morning routine is. The German Shepherd wakes me up at 6 a.m. We go downstairs. I make coffee and I start the crossword, and then the Wordle, and then the spelling bee.
Look at this.
But the thing is, I don't share my scores on social media. That was such an annoying thing when people would tweet their Wordle scores. Like, come on. But yeah, I do. I like the crossword a lot. Actually, it's because I feel like my brain. I'm worried my brain will deteriorate. So that's why I do anything that kind of stimulates it.
I like that about you, Brian. I like that. I don't want you to let your brain go all saggy on us.
You got to exercise. It's a muscle. Yeah. It's like a muscle. You got to exercise.
Yeah.
I got to challenge it. So.
What about you, Pete? What about you, Pete?
Zero. I'm with you.
And no, neither was an option. Okay.
Right. Okay. What a stupid host I am to ask a question that I would not have an answer to. And,
or even both, or like you're torn.
Man, no, See, this is why it's not so rapid fire. Look at what we got to learn about Brian Sack, everyone, is that he literally only subscribes to the New York Times to get the crossword puzzles. This question, picked at random, having no clue that you were so into it, I bet I could have used that in the last year for any other guest, and they would have just been like, I don't know, jigsaw or crossword. But no, it worked out that Brian is an aficionado with crossword puzzles.
I like the crossword.
Yeah.
That's the brain's melting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is a great Twitter X account called @fact, and it's just all it does is tweet out facts. And I just thought this was a great fact that they posted last week. Pluto didn't even complete one revolution around the sun between its discovery and its declassification as a planet. How sad. It takes 248 years to go around the sun. Poor Pluto didn't even make it around before it was demoted. So my question to you, gentlemen, and you're by the way, your justification for your answer, whatever you say, is fine. Okay? My question is, in your opinion, Brian, is Pluto a planet?
Well, the science people who study the planets said that it's no longer a planet. In my opinion, I mean, it's technically not a planet. It's a dwarf planet. But you can't say that anymore, so you have to say little person planet. So it's a little person planet. It's not a full planet.
Yeah, that's a great point. A little person planet. Okay, that's fair. Okay. So, George, you have a take on Pluto. Is it a planet?
I mean, is cream cheese cheese? Is cheddar cheese cheese? Dwarf planet is a planet.
See, it's got planet in it. So, look at that.
So, man. I mean, if I'm gonna take it literally, I'm gonna say that being declassified to a dwarf planet still puts it in a planet status. So I'll say yes, indeedy do.
Okay, so
so
I remember
if you live to be 80 years old on Pluto, how old are you? If it takes 248 Earth years.
I'm sorry, there's no math allowed on this show.
1 year on Pluto is over 240 years. All right.
Huh. So
around the sun.
How long is summer? Endless summer, y'all.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago that the head of NASA said Pluto is a planet. I forgot,
I think
how long
2006. 2006 is when it got declassified.
Okay, but I'm saying more recently than that.
Oh, he
whoever
changed
was
his
running
mind?
NASA said that. Yeah, so whoever it was that was in charge of NASA, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, I specifically remember, I can see him standing out. It was kind of like a hangar thing, and I remember him saying, and by the way, Pluto is a planet, and I forget what the point was or when. Anyway,
dwarf planets are planets.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, George, how long can you hold your breath?
A little over a minute.
Very good. Very good. That comes in
a
handy
little over a minute. But for some strange reason, not when I'm in a pool. If I'm just like sitting here, I can hold it pretty good. But if I go into a pool, not so much.
What if you're in a rest stop bathroom? How long can you hold it for a stadium?
Yeah, or going under a tunnel in the or going over a bridge. You know, your kids like to go over a bridge and hold their breath. Yeah, we have some pretty long bridges down here on our coastline, and it would be impossible to hold your breath. But yeah, a little over a minute.
Hold your breath. I thought it was like pick up your feet. You know, you and I are both from the South. I always thought it was pick up your feet or something.
Pick up your feet is what I had been told.
Oh, really?
Maybe that was graveyards or something. I can't keep track. I don't know.
Oh yeah, graveyards. Yeah.
Brian, how long can you hold your breath?
1 second longer than George.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I actually, I don't know. I was in the pool the other day and I was trying to scare the dog, so I just stayed underwater as long as possible, but I didn't time
What
it.
do you do?
Because
Wait,
she just freaks out and she just runs around like, where'd he go? Where'd he go? And she just
Yeah.
runs around the pool. And I just stayed under there, just looking at this little shadow running
Three
around.
laps. Yeah, you went with the 3 laps.
Yeah, three shepherd laps.
Wait a minute now.
Because then she appreciates
you have
me more.
You have 3 dogs?
No,
And
one
none
dog.
of them jumped in. One dog. Okay, and
She
didn't
doesn't
jump in to
she
rescue you?
doesn't. She's scared of water. Won't come in the water. Keep trying. She won't come in. Had a friend come over with his dog. His dog just jumped in the pool. And I'm like, oh, see? Nope.
Did you guys
Okay.
see?
I'm a little disappointed in your dog, Brian.
That she doesn't swim?
That she didn't save your life.
I mean, she wanted to. I could tell by the franticness, but she just wasn't going to commit to jumping in the pool.
Sorry, George, you had a question. Did we see what?
Did you all watch any of the Olympics this summer? One of our swimmers made this incredible move where I think he was doing the butterfly, and he went and did his turn, and when he came back, he pushed through, and he regained the lead by holding his breath, like the equivalent of like 2 strokes longer. He went deeper and went longer underwater. And when he came up, he had regained the lead, and it was a really exciting moment. And I cannot remember his name, but it was a phenomenal move. But now they have all these underwater cameras, and you could really see just how incredibly athletic of a move that was. And you're thinking these guys are swimming for their lives, and to push 2 full strokes longer than anybody else.
And that was, he was doing butterfly?
Yeah, they were doing.
Yeah, because that's the hardest. I remember butterfly. I used to do freestyle and backstroke, but butterfly was the physical, like you're a special kind of animal if you're doing that.
But apparently in the physics of it, when you come up out of the water in the butterfly, there's that moment of resistance where when you're throwing your arms out, you actually create a little bit of resistance. And he had it, maybe it was something he had in his mind. I never heard anybody interview him about it, but it sure looked intentional. He was doing it, with his legs underwater. Right. He stayed for a longer, almost at a half a length of the pool.
And did he beat all the women on the team?
He had to beat all the women on the team off when he got out of the pool. But
gotcha. Hey, you know what? So Brian mentioned his dog circling the pool, and it made me think, George, here is the picture we used for your At the Mic interview with me. You and your pup, Danny.
Hey, Danny.
How's he doing? All right.
Danny, where are you?
Is it a lab? It looks like a lab.
He's a big boy now, Keith.
Yeah.
Danny, want to come say hey to Keith?
Is it a lab?
No.
I
want to sleep. Yeah, he's a lab, right? Yeah, he's a lab.
Yeah, he's a lab. They call it English cream. Oh, there he is. You want to say?
Would he jump in and save you? Hey, buddy.
Where are you, Dan? He's stretching.
Does he swim?
Say hey, Dan. Oh yeah. Oh mama, what are we going?
Oh, that's cute.
Danny.
He's like, what? Why'd you call me over here?
Yeah.
Would Danny jump in and try to save you, George, if you were underwater holding your breath?
Absolutely. He would jump in and way before I needed to be saved.
Oh, look at that, Brian. Your dog just hates you, man.
My dog sucks.
What kind of dog do you have, Brian? That might solve the mystery.
German Shepherd.
Oh yeah.
Are they afraid of? Are they known to be afraid of water?
Well, I've never seen a German Shepherd jump in the water.
Hold on. Who feeds your dog, Brian?
Both my wife and I.
There goes that theory.
Do you feed him the hard food and he feeds her the soft food?
No, we mix it like a kibble with soft food.
Okay.
So it's not that.
No,
yeah, George and I are out of theories.
She likes me most of the time. It's just when I'm drowning, she's not going to jump in the water.
Oh, it's a she. Awesome.
Yeah.
No. That raises a whole new round of questioning.
Oh yeah, maybe she just maybe it's a girl thing, a girl dog thing. I have no idea.
You haven't upped your life insurance, have you? So,
So, Brian, who's your favorite person in world history?
Oh,
ooh.
It's a tough one, man. I know.
well, it's
Tough one.
it's
Or
it's
just
tough
pick one of
because
your favorites.
if you say the usual, then it just comes off cliched.
Mhm.
And then if you try to do something exotic, then you come off as pretentious. So it's
Right,
just
right.
like, I like
You know what?
George Washington. It's like, okay.
Right. Okay. Sure. Okay.
Thomas
I mean,
Jefferson
you could
is,
be.
I
Now, but
feel like,
Thomas Jefferson. I mean, I'm sorry. You got to allow for that one.
no, but I'm saying like, obviously I like, but I guess I'd say Winston Churchill now, since he's come under attack lately, because I mean, he was a phenomenal character.
Yeah.
I read The Last Lion, I don't know, about a year ago. That's this ridiculous the guy had a biography, like whether it is my camera, like this, what, 3 different books. But I mean, he's a fascinating character, and I know some people don't believe it, but I believe he's responsible for saving the West, from the bad guys.
Who was
Yeah.
that?
Winston Churchill. What's the name of the book?
Oh yeah. Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill. The book's called The Last Lion. It's a huge.
Yeah.
A lot of, and the best part is like the very beginning of the book is just, as a child, of course, the very English way, they just shipped him off to boarding school and forgot about him. And so he spent most of his time in school writing his mother, like, "Mommy, when will you be coming by? Mother, I'd love to see you again." It's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a children's book actually about Winston Churchill. I'm trying to think here. Like he fell out of a tree or something, or he saved his. I don't know. It's about 20 feet from me. I almost want to get up and go get it. It's this amazing story about how he almost died as a kid or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
you get a lot of that in history, where like these near-death experiences for people that went on to change the world. Now, I totally probably butchered that story, but there was something like that. Y'all can do your own research. Do your word for
read The Last
my work
Lion.
for me. Yeah. George, who you got? History.
I'm with Brian on this one. This is a really tricky one, because I think about the people that have really just like had the biggest influence on me. It would be hard not to think about growing up and thinking about the Beatles, and then narrowing it down, probably George Harrison, because of just the way his music just really got into my head. But then when I really start thinking about the world and who had this, tremendous influence just on, the way that we look at least here in the West, we look at going to war and things like that. My mind pretty quickly goes to Muhammad Ali. And I think, like that, remember that great answer to that question when he was dodging the draft, and he said, they were asking him, they said, "Why didn't you want to go fight?" And he said, "I ain't got no beef with no Viet Cong." And if you think about it, that is about the best answer, not to go fight on some foreign soil that I've ever heard. I ain't got no beef with no Viet Cong.
Can I just say, and a shout out to any Connells fans watching right now, to hear George talking about Muhammad Ali, he just put a song in my head.
Oh yeah,
The Joke, right?
Yeah.
From album One Simple Word.
Yeah.
So how about that? You just put a song. You put your song in my head with a
That's
reference.
right. Yeah, Brian, I told Keith, and he remembered this. I was writing a song. This was probably back in it would be the 80s. And the line was, "Cassius came and changed the earth." And then I changed it because it didn't seem to be the thing to do at that time. So I changed it. The critics came and changed the earth.
I thought you were going to say Muhammad came and changed the earth.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali didn't work.
Yeah. And then I'd be shot. No, but
hailed or shot, depending.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So you changed the lyrics, huh?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Cassius came. And critics came was better. That was a better.
Uh-huh.
Because we all know the critics change
Huh.
here. We all know that.
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna start singing it the other way, the original intent way. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see here. Apples or oranges? Let's see who's up now. Is it George? I think you have to choose.
No, I
Apples
think
or
that's
oranges?
Brian's.
Is it my turn?
Oh,
What?
is it?
I think it is.
Okay.
No, you just had Muhammad Ali, bro. You finished that last
Oh,
round. Now
okay.
you go
I'm
first.
right.
This
You're
round.
right. Okay. Well, again, you got to break this down, right? If it's just an apple or an orange, I'd probably choose an apple, depending on the time of the year, of course. But if it's like in a sweet form, like a pie or
Oh,
probably choose an apple again. But if it's in a little cylindrical pop-up device in ice cream, I'd probably go with the orange.
man.
So
Oh
I
gosh.
figured it'd be a
Now I
little
want to pop up. A push up. Now I want to push pop
push up, yeah.
push up. What is it?
push
The-
pop.
I'm gonna
push
go with
pop.
the apple.
Push
I'm
pop.
gonna go with the
That's
apple
my
for the pie. I'm gonna stay with the apple for the pie.
Okay. I mean, you gave a lot of thought to that, and I appreciate that. But Brian, you're right. It's the Fred Flintstone did the push pop thing, right? Or what was it? Yeah,
Did he?
Did he? I don't
he
remember.
advertised it and stuff. That was my childhood. I don't know. Somebody do my job for me. They'll tell me in the chat, maybe. Okay. So that was a very detailed answer, George.
thank you.
Brian, what do you got?
Well, apple, but it has to be a specific apple.
Right.
Because
That's the
like
answer.
I don't Macintosh apples I don't really like, and Red Delicious are not
No,
delicious.
they're not apples.
They're terrible. I don't know. They're well named and it's good marketing, but
Right.
once I realized that they were really bad apples, I got really angry. But Honeycrisp, they're great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's the winner.
And I discovered when I was at a farmer's market in upstate New York, and they had this sign. It was like Thomas Jefferson's favorite apple. I like Thomas Jefferson. Speaking of, but it's called like Elua Spitzenberger or something like that. He actually imported the tree from abroad and grew it at Monticello, I believe, and then it made its way up here. And they actually were selling them, and they were phenomenal. I love them, but they're really hard to like. I would go back every year to the farmers market and just have missed the one time they're available. Yeah, so I lucked into it once, but like very tart and delicious. Really
I like
stuff.
that there's all these varieties and stuff. There's the see the little push pop.
Oh, okay, yeah. Push up, okay.
Push up, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that right there was my childhood. Okay.
Oh, you know what I just saw in that ad? That's kind of the shape of the wheels on his stone car.
Oh yeah.
The push-ups.
That's a great point. It is. It's the wheel on his
The
car.
shape of his wheels. Yeah.
Only you, George.
Four-wheeling it, baby.
What is your favorite app? Go ahead, Brian.
I get Waze. Do you know Waze?
Yeah, for driving.
I mean, it saved me from so many tickets.
I love
It's
being
police reported ahead.
Right. I love being that helper. Like I appreciate the tip,
me too.
but
Yeah,
I love it when
cops,
I'm like,
cops.
yes, you got the fuzz up ahead.
There's deer on the side of the road. I struck a deer once with my kids in the car, and a New York State cop pulled over and he was helping us, and he said he would give me they towed the car. He said he'd give me a ride to the train station. And so he was giving me a ride. A very nice guy. And we're talking. And I asked him about Waze. And I said, do you know Waze? He's like, yeah, I know Waze. And
he was pissed.
I said, does it bother you? He's like, well, he goes, I know when we've been lit up because suddenly everybody's going 55 miles an hour. And I was like, yeah, I get it. He goes, and so then we decide we have to pick up and go somewhere else. And he drops me at the train station. I said, thank you so much for the ride. For the next 2 weeks, I will not report the police on Waze.
I hope that was a lie.
It was nice.
It's like a tip. Yeah.
Thank you. That was my tip. Yeah. Couldn't take cash.
You're a kind soul. That is hysterical to hear a cop say that.
Yeah, no, it really annoyed him because it's like clearly, I mean, they're trying to be sneaky, and it's like, no, he's right over there.
Yeah, I know Waze. All right. So, what's your favorite app, George?
Well, I think I like YouTube because it's a destination where you go in search of something and it gives it to you.
Right.
And then you can get out of it. You can use it and get out of it before it starts sending you stuff that pulls you down into the rabbit hole.
Oh God.
Then you're like,
That's the truth.
did you hear about Tower 7?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
But
a previous episode, by the way, on
Oh.
Our deep dive, 9/11 and Building 7. Yeah.
Oh God!
See,
But
I keep this
YouTube's
chart
great.
here.
What is this?
Yeah, keep
9/11?
this chart here. So you start at trust the official narrative from the government. Then, if you realize that World Trade Center 7 was brought down, this is from a different program altogether, ladies and gentlemen.
God, where have we
But
gone?
these are the steps of the conspiracy theory. Then you get to
Okay.
the government knew it would happen step. Now, then, if you believe that, you could get to the government took down the tower step. And then finally, the last step, which we really explored with the Foundering a few weeks ago, was a direct energy weapon used. I would encourage y'all to go and check the deep dive playlist if you would like the answer. So anyway, where were we? Where were we?
We're just he was saying how great YouTube is. Great.
YouTube is
It
the grandfather now.
yeah,
It's a grandfather.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's somebody who knows what they're doing or
Yes,
doesn't and has a video about it. But you can find the good ones.
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
I fixed
how
a
many times I've-
refrigerator because of that. And
Yes.
I went to YouTube. I'm like, my
It's-
Samsung doesn't work. And this guy's like, my Samsung doesn't work, and here's how I fixed it.
It's
Don't
Those
buy
are some of
Samsung
the
refrigerators.
People on the planet that do these little help videos, man.
Yeah.
They're super cool.
But
And
it's
all you got to do is like it.
it's frustrating though because I come from a TV background and so like I'm all about like sound quality and editing and delivery and things like that. And sometimes you come on, get to the point. Okay, the
Right.
pool filter, get to the pool filter, get to the pool filter. and it's just like, I did this when I was in it. Yeah.
You ever find
So-
yourself dragging along the bottom, and then you
100%,
see
yeah.
the spike, and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's probably where it is."
Yeah, I did that last night because I was looking at this lady who made a jig for a table saw, a sled for a table saw, and she's just like blah blah blah. I'm like, come on. Okay, there we go. That's what I want.
And can I just tell you, and please don't judge me, gentlemen, and anybody watching right now. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter how many times I've done this. But every time, regardless of the vehicle at my house, every time I go to change a cabin air filter, it's like I sit there at the glove box and I'm like, hang on, where's the hell? All right, type in 2018 Toyota Tacoma cabin air filter. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, I mean, I just every time, but it's so helpful. It's just okay.
You changed
George,
the air filter in your car?
the cabin air filter, yeah. Well, and the air filter, yeah. It's please don't
Ryan,
tell
you
me
do that.
that there's something that I can do that another man on the planet isn't familiar with. When it
Ryan,
comes to
you
cars.
do that.
I have a 2021 Tacoma, but yeah, no, I've changed it on my car before.
So basically,
Dang,
and by the
guys.
way, and George, hold on,
Air filter.
let me.
I feel so
Let me-
small.
No, don't. Let me explain something.
Not healthy.
I didn't know this exists until about 20 years ago, when
Now I'm really
rat-
feeling bad.
No, but listen, a rat.
Yeah.
I would get into my car in New Jersey and rats, perfect. And I would get in there in the morning, and it's like every morning it would smell like urine,
100%.
and I'm like,
yep.
what the hell is happening? And it's like, I don't piss in my car. What is going on in here? And I forgot how I found out. Hell, it may have been YouTube, gentlemen. I don't know. I may have typed in, why does my car smell like piss? I don't know what it was. But what I found was there's this thing called a cabin air filter, and it's behind the glove box. And it just filters the air that's coming through your air conditioning. And I guarantee you, right? Take a note right now, George, and then later on today, just go and look at the cabin air filter in your vehicle, and you'll be breathing fresher air tomorrow after a trip to AutoZone. And then, of course, the regular air filter is under your hood, and you can handle that one too. Yeah. So anyway,
I had
okay.
I have an old Jeep, and I turned on the air one time. It had been sitting there for a long time, and then pieces of tissue started blowing through the vents. just shooting out of the vents. I was like, well, that's strange. And it smelled like urine. And then it turned out to be mice had made their home inside the air filter.
Yeah. Because when I got that cabin air filter out in New Jersey, oh my gosh, it was soaked. It had poop in it, leaves, twigs, everything.
Yeah.
And I thought, no. And then one last story about air filters. I guess, the carburetor air filter underneath the hood. One time, this is very dangerous, but I would, my 87 Honda Accord, whenever I'd pull out into a main road and I would put the pedal down, it would die. And this was dangerous. And I'm like, I specifically remember like trying to get over to the edge there, and I could not figure it out. It would eventually crank and work and everything. And so I got home and I popped open the hood. And this one was when I was in my 20s, George, if this helps any, but don't. I popped the hood and I'm looking under there. I'm looking at the belts and the hoses, and I'm like, is the air? What's going on here? And hanging out from underneath the air filter thing, just this little was like a Filet-O-Fish McDonald's wrapper that had somehow gotten sucked up in there and was cutting off the air. And so anyway, this weekend, George is going to change his air filters on his vehicle.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of McDonald's real quick, I was going to get to this a little bit later, but just want you to know there's a new sandwich coming out. It's called the Big Arch. Big Arch.
What is it? Is it?
It's well, first it's going to roll out in Canada and Portugal.
Oh, all the hot spots.
Yeah, it's going to be made up of 2 quarter-pound beef patties, 3 slices of white cheese, crispy and regular onions, gherkins, lettuce, and a brand new Archburger sauce, and a classic sesame seed bun. Canada and Portugal will get first dibs on the Big Arch, just so you know. Which
is white cheese, white cheddar? It's a new kind of cheese.
I don't know. We're gonna have to go to Portugal.
Gonna go to Portugal.
Or Canada's probably easier.
Yeah, but the dollar's stronger in Portugal.
That's okay. Okay, then we'll coordinate a trip. By the way, I saw this headline. I hit print. Do you guys have a guess on this one? Because once I read it, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Here's the headline. Since we're talking about food, the one dish you should never order, according to Gordon Ramsay. Any guess, gentlemen?
The one dish you should never order.
One dish. Yeah, don't spend too long thinking about it, because I did, and then when I read it, I thought, yeah, you ready? It is
macaroni
beef tartare.
Okay, so when you go to the restaurant, right? You let's see. So he said, ask what yesterday's soup du jour was before you ask what today's special is, because you may be ordering the soup of the month as opposed to the soup of the day, or the special of the day as opposed to the special. What was yesterday's special? Find that out before you ask what today's special was, because then you'll find out that you're ordering really old food that they haven't been able to get rid of for the last few days.
Yeah, there are some rules like, don't order sushi on a Monday kind of thing, because the fish weren't fresh on Sunday, because there was no fishing on Sunday kind of, that things.
Interesting.
I hadn't heard about the soup du jour.
One thing we've talked about on this program before is the rise in insects, and I won't, as far as food, crickets and whatnot. I have an article here about how, my gosh, in Singapore, apparently crunchy crickets. Anyway, this is a gross article. I won't spend too much time on it, but it talks about how like these have bugs like crawling on the actual plate of food, and it's apparently very popular in Singapore right now. Wow. I'm going to pass on whether the bug is alive or dead. I don't care. I'm not eating it, and I'm just curious. Just let me just take temperature of the room here. Would you guys, have you eaten bugs before? Would you eat them? Are you like me and like absolutely not happening? Where are you on that?
I've eaten them.
Mm-hmm.
You've
done a lot of world traveling too.
I've done a lot. Well, that's the thing. I was in Namibia, and they have they have this thing called mopane worm, which looks like a huge grub. It's like, it's just a big white grub. I'm getting sick talking about it. And they eat them two ways. They dry them, they dehydrate them so they're like chips, or they boil them and make kind of like this Wapani worm mush. And I tried that because I was trying to be adventurous. You know, it's not horrible, but it's just like, it's not enjoyable too, because you're basically like, I'm eating a big maggot, you know, and you're just like,
Yeah.
But I did it. You know, they're like, cool, you know, you ate it. And I'm like, okay, can we move on?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like an initiation.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, they eat them there because they're high in protein and they're very cheap because they're grubs, you know, and so
Sure.
yeah, but I think, you know, I remember in China they had grasshoppers and larvae and an assortment of other things I wasn't crazy about and, you know, avoided. But
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
George, where are you on bugs, George?
Yeah, I'm a bug eater. I
No,
you know, I think there was a time when I was making cornbread and I opened up my bag of cornmeal and there were bugs in there. Like when I opened it up, there were even some flying around in there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But you had to make the cornbread.
Weevils. And so I think what I did is I thought, well, I'll just sift it and get the
bug sifter.
So I sifted it and released the weevils into the kitchen and was able to figure out that this was like a in real time a happening event. They were like this was a birthing facility, the weevils, and they were coming to life before my very eyes. And it's almost the stuff of nightmares, you know.
Yeah, this is a horror flick scene.
Yeah. And so I think I confessed to whoever it was that I was having dinner with that we had a problem with the cornmeal and that I ended up putting it in the trash can and sealing it up and getting it out of there, but not until I had released the weevils. And oh boy.
Release the weevils.
I was just thought the same exact thing.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
if it had just been me, I would have cooked them.
Right? Oh, no.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm
it's not going to kill you. Yeah.
No,
extra protein, right?
I can almost see you don't like thinking about it. I don't want to think about it.
I don't like to think about it.
I can see George walking into the dining room and slamming like the kitchen door behind him. Like, tell you what, we're gonna eat out, and while we're out, we're gonna buy one of them foggers, those bug bombs, you know. That's scary. That's gross. Weevil. I don't like that. Gross. You said bug eaters. That's what the my alma mater, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, that was their nickname 100 some odd years ago, the Nebraska Bug Eaters, before they became the Cornhuskers. So that's I need to get me a Bug Eaters shirt, actually. I think they make those. But my goodness, that is I don't like that. I don't like that bug stuff. Okay, let's see here. Apparently there's a new thing with food. I have all these food stories I've just been hanging on to. The serving size of food is now gigantic. Like this article here is like in San Francisco, there is croissants the size of your head. There's brick size burritos, all sorts of stuff. So anyway, apparently that's a thing where, and you would think it would just be the opposite. Where,
that's what it feels like.
Portions would be getting small. Yeah. So I don't know. Apparently that's a trend in some places. Okay. Let me find this. Okay. Oh, hold on. Before I forget, we were just talking about eating bugs and stuff, and it occurred to me, check out the Connells album, Weird Food and Devastation. Can you please enlighten those Connells fans out there? I know the story on how that album title came to be, George, but what was the weird food that you guys were experiencing in Europe on the tour where that inspired that album title, Weird Food and Devastation?
Oh yeah, the fish in the gelatin dishes, aspic.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of aspic in Germany, and we just saw a lot of it. And you know, some people are really good with their ass pick, and some people have a real ass picking problem. You know what I'm saying? And so we, you know, we're driving down. You know, when you drive through certain parts of Berlin, you know, there's one side of the street was built back in the 50s, and the other side is from the Middle Ages. And so we were just one day riding, and Steve Potak, who was our keyboard player, and well, he still is the keyboard player. He made some comment. He just said, "Yeah, weird food and devastation." Almost like it was just like something that just kind of occurred to him. And I think Mike Connell said, "Yeah, that'd be a good name for a record." And it stuck, and we remembered it. But you know, part of that time was we were over there. We had started working on this record, and we left it at home. We left this unfinished record at home and went and toured in Europe. And so we had abandoned it. So it didn't mean that we stopped thinking about it. It just was a big interruption. And of course, if we had finished the record before we went to Europe, it would have been a completely different record. So, and there's a part of me that often wonders, maybe that would have been a better record. But anyway, yeah, well, weird food. But we didn't eat any bugs.
Didn't eat any bugs.
Missed out.
Yeah.
Missed out.
Gotta get back.
No bugs.
Okay, so this next video I want to play is actually kind of musician centric. I want to see if first of all, I'm going to ask you if you want to start thinking about it, George. What's the strangest thing that's ever happened to you while you were on stage? And let me get this video up. This just happened last week in Detroit. Green Day was playing. Okay, and apparently they're outdoors. They're at the Tiger Stadium, and I guess what happens is a drone flies over the audience, and so you see, I don't know what he called, roadie or what have you, the stagehand guy, whatever. He comes and he gets him off stage. So like,
wow.
Billy Joe runs right off. Of course, the crowd keeps singing. Look, they don't know. It's kind of chaotic, right? I mean, it's like, let me get off this stage. And I don't know what it ended up being. I don't think it was a threat or anything, but you just...
But they didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't know. They just ran off stage. And, I mean, I don't blame them for running off stage. I mean, there they are backstage, just kind of, let's figure... I mean, the world is crazy. So you never know what
was it. Was it a drone? It was somebody.
It was a
flying
drone, and I forgot to look because I'm just ill prepared. I forgot to find out if there was a follow up on that before we started here today. Let me see. Here's another version. Now you got the big TV screens there to look at. Here he comes out there. It's like, let's go. He's like, wait, I'm the only one on stage. Let's go. Yeah, I do like how the crowd keeps singing.
That's kind of
so
wild.
I just, yeah. So I just wonder.
Well, this almost looks like it was taken from a drone.
Yeah, right. I think that's the nosebleed seats. So,
yeah, look at
that. How many? Gosh, you've probably done thousands of shows, at least hundreds of shows in your life.
Billions.
Billions and billions of shows. Anything crazy like that ever happen? I mean, anything unusual that caused you to have to dart off stage?
Well, there's this place in Memphis called Mud Island, and there's an amphitheater down on Mud Island. And we were playing a show, and it was at night, and there was it was one of those festivals, and there were a bunch of people playing, and I think I can't remember who there was kind of a punk rock band that was going on after us. And it was just a big amphitheater. And the way that you feel when you're on the stage is the lights are aimed towards you. And on this particular evening, the audience, you could sort of see a back glow of people's faces. but you couldn't really see individuals. And so I was standing there playing guitar, looking out, and in the light suddenly was this white orb. And this white orb just appeared, and then it came, and it was coming towards the stage. And David Connell, who's about 6'3", he was standing up to the front of the stage playing his bass guitar, kind of looking at his bass guitar. And I was about 20 feet away from him, and I watched this golf ball hit on the stage right in front of him, and it bounced right over his head.
Oh my
and went
God.
back over the drummer. And me and Peel, the drummer, we were the only two people that saw it. And Peel, of course, is able to play drums, and Peel probably would have been able to protect himself. But David, in that moment, was defenseless. He would not have known what hit him, and it probably missed hitting him by a few feet. But you don't know. People. It really wasn't that long ago that punk rock bands and would play in venues, and the clubs would put these chain link fences up in front of them, and because people would throw bottles and pitchers and stuff at them. And, so it's not that crazy for people to think, yeah, I'm going to throw a little chaos into the event tonight. And
but was there video? Like, did David ever see that, or he just knew from you and Peel? Yeah.
No, this was the 90s. There wasn't that kind of like just iPhones floating around, but
a better time.
Yeah, that was as far as like feeling like something potentially dangerous that happened, and you had that feeling like, is it going to happen again? And so it was just kind of like a heads up moment. Everybody was just like, okay, heads up.
Scary.
Fortunately, it didn't happen again.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm reading this article because we're all dog owners here. And there are times where the dogs need a bath. Some dogs are more afraid of water than others, I'd like to point out. No, but apparently there's now I would never do this. There is a perfume for dogs now that you can buy. I don't know if you're supposed to put it behind the ears or what, but it's called Fifi. Just wanted you to know that in case you guys were wondering. Now you know. Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. And I read you that little story just to get us launched into some dog videos. We need to get to some animal videos here, gentlemen. Let's start with, I think every mom watching right now can identify with this mama dog. So this mama dog, she just wants some time to herself. You see this? So she's sitting on the couch. She's got, I don't know, we'll be able to count them in a second, 8 or 10 little puppies who demand her attention right now. And you can just see the look on her face right now, looking toward the owner as if to say, could you do something about this, please? And I just want every mom out there that has young kids or at some point has had young kids, I'm sure can identify with this. This poor mom. I feel so bad for her. Look at this. Come on, Mom. Come down here and let's play. Come on. No. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. How many puppies we got there? 5,
1, 2,
10, I think.
Oh, poor thing. Poor thing.
8 or 9. 8 or 9.
She's laying down the law. She's like, look, I need a manicure.
Give me a
pedicure.
Little time here.
You're annoying. And then she just kind of gives up and just starts playing.
Okay, here are my nipples.
All right.
Here's my 8 nipples.
Oh, wait. It's not a mom.
It's not?
Whoa.
Oh, that's a problem.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys. That's no mama dog.
I think we got it figured out. Nice job, Brian. You're right. He's like, I don't have the nipples.
I don't have. I told you so many times. I'm not the nipple one.
I just went with the caption. I didn't even pay attention to the anatomy. You're absolutely right. I'm not the nipple one. Good stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's
All right,
funny.
yeah, okay. Well, we got it.
Dogs.
Okay.
That's from
Now,
doing all those crosswords.
see, Brian exercises his brain. The rest of us don't. Speaking of dogs who are annoyed, now whenever we take our dogs to the vet or it's nail trimming time or whatever, bath time, it's not the happiest time for them. This dog that you're about to see has just gotten done at the groomers, and obviously not a fan of the groomers. I pulled this video just because the dogs have such personalities, and at times they are just almost human-like in their reactions to us, especially Tanner with his eyes. Man, my gosh, his expressions. But I love this dog. Listen to the owner. Picked up the pup from the groomer.
You look so handsome. You look really handsome, Benny. Can you look at your mama? He's ignoring me because I took him to the groomer. He hates going to the groomer, but it's so hot, so he had to get shaved. So he won't make eye contact with me. He does this every time. Benny, you look so handsome. Benny, can I have a kiss? Benny.
Oh, Benny.
Mommy, have a kiss, Benny.
No, I'm pissed at you.
I love you. You're a good boy.
Don't talk to me.
You want to go get a treat?
Well,
maybe. I got a
Okay.
question, guys. When I was playing that video there, the groomer dog, was that video choppy on your end? Because I'm looking over here on your YouTube and it's looking all choppy. I was wondering if y'all guys
Yeah, it was
experienced that
choppy.
too.
It was a little choppy.
yeah, it's a little choppy, but I got the
Alright.
gist of the.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, you got the gist of it, but
Yeah.
something's wrong with my internet connection again.
Yeah,
It's
I
always
was
something
feeling
on
his-
this end.
I was feeling his pain, and and really choppy is kind of the element of Benny's problem is that he felt like he got hacked
Chopped
up.
up, yeah.
Groomer, yeah, he's like chop suey over here.
I hope that the I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I hope that the awesomeness of this next video isn't ruined by the internet connection, but this is a dog on a mission. There is something that he is trying to retrieve on the other side of this rock wall, and by golly, he's going to make sure this happens. Check this out. So look at this. Look at how resourceful he is. He's using the tree and the rocks to climb up.
Wow.
Look at this dog.
Now
Wow,
that's the
incredible.
nifty one there.
That's impressive.
Look at that. Look at that. Now
Oh,
Wow.
he got a stick. See? Ta-da. We got there. We
Wow.
got there.
Wow.
All right. What a good dog. Okay, let's see here. I got one more. Okay, so this one we're going to count dogs again. So we need to in fact, when we start off here, the goal is we're going to count how many dogs are in this video. And as you can see, it's not so cut and dry. There's a lot of stuffed animals mixed in. And so let's hit the play button and see what happens. Oh, wait, we got the Jeopardy theme. I didn't know that. Hope we don't get flagged by YouTube. All right, so here we go. Okay. All right.
Okay.
There we go. All right, look at that. Okay. How many? It's impossible. You know
Oh my
what?
God.
Lord.
Right? How ridiculous was that? So there we go. How many do we count? Let's see.
11.
You gotta,
How many alive
and it-
dogs did you see?
and it says answer revealed in 3, 2, 1. It was not revealed. So we got
They
1,
didn't
2.
reveal?
They didn't reveal it. And look, like there's a dog stuffed animal that's not moving. Anyway, I thought it was kind of fun. Thank y'all for always sending me some fun animal videos. Okay, I know I learned from at the mic conversation, George, that your brother had a pet monkey when you were growing up.
Mhm.
Which I mean that had to be fun. That had to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what especially when he got loose, as you told us in that story. I don't know what kind of primate this is. I know he's ugly. I'm not gonna lie, but I
Wow.
just wonder. This is not the kind of primate that I would want to. How strange is that?
Yeah. It's like, what's the purpose? Why did that evolve that way? Like, why?
Why are you the way you
Like,
are?
You get thumbs and fingers. That makes sense. That the floppy thing in front of your mouth makes no sense.
No.
I mean,
So-
it's almost like a curse, you know? It's like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Ah, ah, ah.
What do you call that? What do you call that animal?
I never found out. I don't know. Goofy ass monkey. I don't know.
I
Platypus
think we should
nose.
call it a Malinac.
Wow. Okay. I don't know that I like that plan. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what to look up. Goofy looking primate. Let's see if that comes up with anything here. No.
Primate with flat nose or something.
Flat nose. Let me try that.
Flat nose primate.
Oh, I got you. No, is that? Hang on a second. Here we go. I think I have the answer right here. Hang on. I'm just waiting for the commercial to get it. That's the thing about YouTube. Kids,
my God.
some of us still remember when there weren't commercials. And I apologize for the ones in this show as well.
Look what they pulled up and tell me what celebrity that looks like.
Oh.
Michael Jackson.
Michael
Yeah, with the
Jackson.
nose. When he lost his nose. Remember when his nose was kind of like falling off
Yes.
from all the bad surgery?
This is a proboscis monkey or proboscis monkey.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that
Amazing.
would explain it. There's a little Latin in there, right, Brian?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a little Latin in there.
Schnoz monkey.
Moscus. The rhino. It doesn't. Doesn't rhino mean nose?
Yeah.
Yeah, a rhinoplasty is a nose job.
Yeah.
And a phalloplasty.
Thank you, Sue. Thank
Anybody?
you. I saw your comment yesterday too, Sue. That's the other thing that I'm always irritated by, the air conditioner that nobody can hear but me. I'm sorry. Continue, gentlemen. I'm having a moment with the audience. Continue.
Oh, he's engaging with the audience.
That damn air conditioning vent up there. I hear you. They may not, but I do.
It's
Okay,
your
sorry.
mouse chewing on your McDonald's arch paper.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Snub-nosed monkey, I think, is the
Arch
more common.
nemesis.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Who's the snub-nosed monkey? The one that Brian held up, or the one that I held up? Which one was
I
it?
think Brian held up the snubbed
The one I
nose.
held
Yeah.
up?
Okay. That would make sense. Yeah. That would make sense. Okay. So,
Yep.
do you guys ever play
from Myanmar? Yeah, from Myanmar, formerly Burma.
Formerly Burma?
Right.
That's right. Gentlemen, do you ever play pickleball or tennis?
I'm getting
anything?
there.
Which
I should
one?
be. I want to. Well, I play tennis, but I think my knees are kind of shot from skiing, so I think it's time to ease into pickleball.
Okay,
All
that's
those
interesting.
years playing skee ball. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never played. My family wants me to play pickleball, but
It's it's named after the guy's dog. Speaking of dogs,
Yes, I think. I
the
remember
guy
seeing
named it
that.
after his dog. That's why it's got such a silly name, but it's hugely popular. I was touring Annapolis. I was touring Annapolis with my son who was looking at colleges, and they have a whole pickleball field now. They have it's made it to colleges, and I just don't know anything about it. I guess it's like kind of a lazier tennis. It's less work on the legs.
Well, okay, no, that's a good segue because I guess tennis, like the professional Pete something. I guess they're feeling a little threatened, and so by the explosion of the popularity of pickleball, which, by the way, can we just pause for a second in the name of pickleball? I just wish that fantasy football had a different name, because while I enjoy playing it, I don't enjoy saying it. Can we come up with any other name? I don't want to call it fantasy football. I'd like to call it Russian roulette football, because I'm always picking the wrong players to put in my lineup, and so I lose every week. What is it?
Football.
Faux ball.
That's
Football.
perfect, because it's
Football.
fake.
Faux ball.
It's
It's fake.
It's
not
fake
real.
football.
Yeah.
It's faux ball. That is
Football.
perfect.
Thank you. I'm starting a league tomorrow.
How do we change the vernacular? I don't like to say. I still, after I've been
I've
playing
never,
since
it's never once occurred to me that would be annoying to somebody. Fantasy football.
27 years.
Sci-fi fantasy football is a little nerdy. But yeah, I've never heard anybody not like have a problem with the name.
So apparently, I was trying to get more details on this, and apparently they're now doing almost like a, if I understand this correctly, it's something halfway between pickleball and regular tennis, and it's called Red Ball.
Red Ball.
And
sponsored by Red Bull. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And they're trying to introduce kids to this to kind of get them into tennis, to kind of steer them away from what you talked about.
I mean, the downside of pickleball is they come in and they take over the tennis courts, and it pisses off the tennis players. Because my wife plays tennis because she's Eastern European, so you have to. And so she plays tennis, and her gang will show up at the courts, and then all the pickleball people are doing their thing, and everybody's like stomping around, all angry at them.
Did you hear what you said there? Her gang. So it was like a tennis gang.
So it's a gang of tennis playing ladies. A lot of tennis and drama.
I don't know. I just saw a Saturday Night Live bit in there somewhere. Tennis gang.
The tennis. There's so much drama. They should do like a Real Housewives who play tennis thing, because it's just somebody's always mad at somebody else. There's always someone. Oh, did you hear that she did something? This person won't play doubles with that person because that person said something or voted for the wrong guy. I don't know. Too much drama. I'm switching to pickleball. Drama.
So George mentioned the Olympics. George, did you get to see Ray Gun and the breaking event? You get to see that? Watch that? That's good stuff there. Are you familiar with that, George? I see Brian is.
Yeah.
The break dancing thing. First of all, she has apologized. But I think what is hysterical is that, and I won't bore you with the details, but the way the schedule falls throughout the world of professional breaking, she is currently ranked number 1 in the world. Just so you know. Yeah, because she's apparently good. Nope. I don't know how this happened. I don't know, but she is number 1 because the Olympics, that event doesn't count toward the points for like your world ranking. But just so you know, Ray Gun is your number 1 ranked breaker on the planet. Just so you're
congratulations, aware. Australia.
So and one last thing here as it relates to the Olympics. It was just talked about how this para-Olympian had a tattoo. So you're not allowed, if you're an Olympic athlete, you're not allowed to have tattoos. Well, this particular guy, swimmer, I didn't know this either. I didn't think about it, but when you stop and you go, oh, wait a minute, yeah, that makes sense.
The guy in the photo you just had behind Ray Gun had like a full sleeve on both arms.
I see.
I guess you can be a judge with tattoos, but you just can't be a player with tattoos.
Great.
Look at
point.
That. Yeah.
Look at that.
No nipples.
And no nipples. Yeah.
Doesn't have 8 nipples. But
I think that's going to be the word of the day here. Nipples.
So no Olympic player of any country can have tattoos.
Yeah. So so this guy had apparently, I don't have a picture of him, but okay. So there's this weird rule that and maybe this is let's see, the highest sport competing Olympics. I'm just making sure this isn't an Olympic thing. It's maybe a para-Olympic thing. Because it says, okay, this rule is enforced by the International Para-Olympic Committee. Okay, all right. So maybe, I'm sorry, this might be just Paralympics. Anyway, which bans athletes from body advertising. This guy had the Olympic rings on his chest, and I think it was pretty small too. And anyway, and so he discovered it. Oh, so this says that, this is a Paralympic, guys. Sorry, 2016, a guy lost because he had them showing. So he was a swimmer back then. And let's see. So spokesperson said, body advertising not allowed in any way whatsoever, and that includes the Olympic rings. The athlete did not wear a cover and was therefore disqualified. All teams are informed of the advertising policy at a technical meeting prior to competition. It wasn't as if they had not been reminded about the rules. So sticklers for not even advertising the Olympic rings. And I want to thank my judges, Tanner and Matilda, for chiming in on this story, if you can hear in the background.
I heard those. Didn't hear the AC, but I can hear them.
Okay, let's see here.
I wonder why. Like, why do the Paralympics have a rule like that, and the Olympics don't?
I don't. It seems very ableist, if you ask me. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. Okay. All right. What else I got here?
I like that. Ableist.
Ableist. Yeah. This right here. Okay. I'm surprised. I think it's kind of cool. This guy, he has this cat that sheds a lot. And what do you do with the fur? You throw it away, right? I mean, it makes dust bunnies, but you throw it away. Apparently, he collects it and then takes it out and hangs it up for the birds to use. And I am stunned that the birds come and take the fur, the cat fur, and then build nests with it. I would think that they would smell the cat and be like, oh, I don't need any of that in my life. But apparently, if you have a cat and you have birds hanging around, and you put it out there like this, they will turn it into a nest, which is
it looks
neat.
to me like they're getting the other stuff and not the fur, because the fur looks to be the orange stuff, and they're opting for the white stuff.
Oh, well, I think he might have multiple cats. Maybe just for the purposes of this video, he's carrying out the tabby.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe the caption said just cat fur. Yeah, you're right. Though it almost looks like cotton balls, right? Like they're only taking those. I don't know. Yeah. Here's a cute. If you've ever wanted to see a baby tiger, like kitten tiger thing playing peekaboo, well, now's your chance. There we go. That's pretty adorable. Am I right? Now, just wait. Give it 6 months. The thing will be eating its owner for living this little
boy. Cute when they're small.
Cute when they're small.
Look at that face.
Your brother had a monkey?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, having a monkey living with you.
So, Brian, the year was 1968, and in the little shopping mall in the center of Raleigh, there was this pet store called Doctor Pet Center. Doktor. Doctor Pet. And it was a tiny store, but in the window one day appeared a box filled with squirrel monkeys. There were probably 15, 20 squirrel monkeys and one tree limb, and they were in there just all over this tree limb, and a thing of water and something that they could sort of play with in there. And my brother, who was 12 at the time, Wilson, came home and said to Dad, he said, "Dad, if you'll let me get a monkey for Christmas, I'll never ask for anything ever again." And my dad had 5 kids, so he was like, well, if I got one that's asking for nothing ever again, that's like a do-over. So there she is. There's Chi-Chi.
Really?
Well, that's one of her one of her kind. That's a squirrel monkey.
Okay.
Chi-Chi had she lived with us for 6 years. She had a real distinct little birthmark over her. I want to say it was over her right eye, maybe her left eye. I can't really remember anymore. She had this real distinctive little birthmark, and she lived with us. Me and Wilson had a big room. This sun porch was our bedroom, and we had a big cage out there, and Wilson put a light bulb in a coffee can and wrapped an old towel around it so she could nestle up next to this warm can in the wintertime, And, we were talking about eating bugs earlier. If we ever found any crickets or roaches or anything like that had a head on them, we'd give it to Chi, and she'd bite the head off of that sucker and roll it on the bar, to make it crunch real good. Then she'd sit there and eat it real fast. And then miraculously, we would let her kind of sit on our shoulder and, you know, after
eat the bugs.
Oh Lord, she loved bugs.
But sit on your shoulder and eat the bugs.
No, she would eat them. She didn't want to share anything like that. That was a real delicacy, I think. I wonder what this monkey's eating. It almost looks like a green birthday candle.
Yeah, some
a wax candle, but
so
Chi-Chi
the monk
got out once, right? Chi-Chi?
She got out a few times. Yeah, the one time that she got out that was really amazing was it was the summertime and Wilson was out of town and my mom and I were around and we would take Chi-Chi outside during the day and we had a fenced in area in the yard where she could go and be outside and be in this pen. And so we were putting Chi-Chi in the pen and before mom could get the door closed, Chi-Chi got out and she went up in the trees and she just was free. She was free at last. And she was up there singing, oh, Lord, I'm free at last. And she is just going through the trees and she was gone.
Oh no, and man.
We thought, oh no. And
Wilson's going to be pissed.
Wilson's going to kill us, man. We can't do anything right. And so we put the word out that Chi-Chi had gotten out and there was a family that moved to our neighborhood from Iraq. This was in the 60s. And Ahmed Ibrahim came running down to the house and said, Mrs. Huntley, I know where Chi-Chi is. He had been listening to the radio and there was this AM station that they had this show called Ask Your Neighbor with Bart Rittner. And that Bart took a phone call and this college kid called up and said, Bart, I'm not going to lie. There's this, we were just sitting here watching TV, eating popcorn, and this monkey came in the dorm room window and is sitting here on the couch eating popcorn with us. What do we do? Bart said, well, if anybody that knows where this little monkey belongs, give us, what number should they call you at there, Bill? And so Bill left his little number, and so Ahmed, Ali, it was Ali, not Ahmed. He got the phone number and called them up and said, we'll be right over. And so we had this little travel cage and we went over to the dorm and it was about third story up. We went in there and we opened up the little cage and Chi-Chi ran right in. And
wow.
Brought her home. Wilson never knew, well, he did know, but we made it sound like it wasn't any big deal.
Oh, that's good.
How long did the monkey live for?
Oh, that's a great question. We had her for 6 years.
Okay.
And then Wilson went off to college and my dad said, you got to get rid of that monkey. And so we went to Durham, which is the city about 15 miles from here. And Durham had a Life and Science Museum and they had a squirrel monkey exhibit, which probably started because of all these unwanted pets.
Mm.
You can only imagine. And so Wilson donated Chi-Chi to the Durham Life and Science Museum. And we went back a year later to see her. And remember, I was telling you, she had that distinctive little mark over her eye. And we saw her. And she had a little baby on her, clinging to her shoulder. And she was with these other monkeys. And she just kind of looked at us like, she kind of acknowledged us, and it was
probably afraid you might take her away, right?
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
She's like, man, I don't make a scene. I don't want them to like.
Well, I did hear her tell one of the monkeys. She said, "See those big, ugly, hairless monkeys over there?
I used to live with them." That's
I
awesome.
worked on a TV commercial with a monkey once, and I was talking. It was a cat. I think capuchin. It was a fairly, one of the bigger sized monkey. And I'm talking to the guy. I'm like, oh, it must be really cool having a monkey. And he goes, no, it's like having a 2-year-old child for 40 years. So because I can't date. I can't be left alone. I can't do anything. This monkey is the center of my life. I've gone through multiple relationships. He like totally vented on me. And he's just like, I have no life because of this monkey. And the monkey was his bread and butter. So he couldn't, he did it for TV and film. So he had to have the monkey, but his life he was miserable. He's like, my girlfriend broke up with me because of the monkey. I checked into a hotel, went downstairs. The monkey trashed the room. He's just like, I can't leave the monkey alone. I'm like, oh God.
I'm hearing some entitlement issues there. You know what I'm saying? Chi-Chi was more of a monkey for the people, She was
a monkey of the people. So I think I remember now that you guys are talking about being stressed out about a monkey or what have you. I think David Schwimmer had an issue with whatever monkey, Marcel or whatever, right, on Friends. I think there was some tension between him and the monkey, if I remember correctly. I forget the details of that. It may have been the whole cast, but I do know that David Schwimmer didn't enjoy having to deal with them.
They're danger. I mean, I was sitting next to it. Was called Dr. Julius. I remember the monkey's name. It was Dr. Julius, and I'm sitting there. We weren't shooting yet. They were setting up the scene. The monkey's there. The trainer's on the other side, and I'm looking at the monkey, and the monkey's looking at me. And then suddenly he looks like this funny old man, and then his face changes to anger, and he reaches out and sticks his little monkey paw in my mouth and yanks my face very violently. No. And I was like, "Oh, he hurt me." And the trainer's like, "What'd you do? What'd you do?" I'm like, "Nothing. He just yanked it. He yanked my." He's like, "Well, did you look at him?" I'm like, "Of course I looked at him. He's a monkey. There's a monkey next to me. Of course I looked at him." He goes, "You can't make eye contact with the monkey." And I'm like, "Oh, you tell me now?"
Wow. Wow.
He goes, I go, "What do I do?" And he goes, "Just ignore him. He's going to apologize." So I turn away from the monkey, ignoring the monkey, and then Dr. Julius comes up and starts rubbing my arm and nuzzling my arm with his head. It's really bizarre.
But you didn't look at him again, did you?
No, now I was terrified. Yes.
Okay. Right. I'm glad he didn't rip off your face the way.
Oh my God! They can be very strong. I mean, his little monkey paw got in there, and I just kept thinking, like, what was he touching before that?
They do throw poop. They throw poop.
Do you guys remember Lancelot Link's Secret Chimp?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Mata Hari.
Yeah.
Mata Hari was the female temptress monkey. They had her walking in high heels. Mata Hari. And that was a TV show in the 60s.
I see.
Sorry.
Yeah, and what was the other one? The Banana Splits was
banana. Yeah, one banana, two. I remember Banana Splits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm old. What happened?
Yeah. Hey, but at least you heard me mention it. I mean, you heard it.
That's right. No, the hearings. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible.
No.
All right. So I want to show you all guys this mystery here. Look at this, huh? We found an alien. This is in Brazil, and it's an alien hanging out on top of this here mountain.
That's Benny the dog. That's Benny the dog. He ran away after getting his hair cut.
Oh, right. He's like,
all right. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. You're good. I just wanted to show you that this was a big deal. That there was like this alien seen on top of this cliffside, and then we come to find that it was actually a basketball player. That they said that was a 10-foot alien. It was just this guy. He's a really tall basketball player who was up on the.
That's hilarious. Yeah,
that's funny stuff. Okay, now do you guys ever? Do you guys ever build things? I mean, do you have a gift for that? Because I certainly do not. And I wondered if you guys,
I'm building pull out shelves for the cabinets because my wife liked the one that I built. Now I have to build 15.
Oh no, bro! Yeah. You don't let them know what you're good at. Come on now. Okay, well,
that's a nice stool bench there.
Okay, so I want to show you this because this is super duper cool. This guy's very talented, and I just thought this was cool. So here you go. They added the music. Let me pause this. I don't want the music because I don't want YouTube to freak out and tell me. Okay, so this is a bench, and it's all sorts of stuff. Look at this. So you can make it a table if you want. There's a bench, obviously. I don't know why he's doing that. That's just for the fun of it. But look at this. Look at this, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's
that's very
so
clever.
versatile.
Yeah.
it really doesn't look very comfortable, though.
No.
Right. I thought that too, George. Yeah. But look at
But
this,
it's
man.
cool. I
There's
like
so
that.
many.
No, yeah,
Yeah. It's kind of fun.
it is cool. Yeah,
It's very cool. Yeah.
Man, I wish I
I've
could
been
build
trying.
any.
I've been trying to get my wife to let me build a table for a certain part of the house, and she refuses. She's insisting.
Wait a
that
minute.
the actual company does it.
Hold on.
Now-
You got to build 15 shelf thingies, but she won't let you build the.
You know,
what you call
pull-out shelves are more. They're easier than a piece of furniture, obviously. But so I can do the
Alright.
simple things.
What were you saying, George?
I was just thinking if the truck broke down in front of this guy's house that had all these small pieces of wood, right? Like he's got 1,000 of these little pieces of wood. He's like, what can I do with these
What can I do with them? Right?
wood? Yeah, and he didn't have any glue. He ran out of glue. So
If a truck filled with small pieces of wood broke down in front of my house, I would just see firewood. Like I wouldn't
Cutting
know what
board.
to do with-
Cutting board. The entry level. You make a cutting board.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
entry level woodworking. You do a simple
or
All right.
cutting
picture
board,
frame.
huh?
Picture frame.
Or a picture frame.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking
Got a
to a guy
microphone.
who literally cannot build a birdhouse. Like there's no skill there whatsoever.
YouTube.
YouTube, right? There's probably
Seriously, I
how-to.
spent like an hour
Yeah.
and a half on YouTube the other night looking at how to install drawers properly.
See, all the answers are.
That's
on
my
the-
life.
This is cool. Like I like watching science. I don't like doing science because much like my carpentry skills, they fail. But I don't know. I just great audience. Send me cool, fun videos, and or I'll also run across them myself, and I just pull them for this show. I think this is so cool. I don't understand it. It just we're trying to. Okay, so there we got 2 straws, 1 empty cup. And we got a very wild bird in the background, apparently. Okay. So if we take the straw and we put it in like this.
Fill it full of yellow water.
Right.
Monkey pee-pee.
Watch this. This is so wild, man. I don't understand it, but I love it.
Yes, you do. That's capillary action.
Capillary action. George Huntley, ladies and gentlemen. A duck. Look at that.
They'll all settle out to be even.
I just love it. Yeah, why does he have to point? I don't understand. Yes, we see. We see that they're even, man.
Now can you make it go back? No, you cannot.
I don't know. I just thought it was cool. So
Okay, so that's
explain it.
Science project for your middle school or elementary school age child to show capillary action, right?
Capillary action. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we're just basically it's balancing out everything, huh? Is that what we're doing here?
Well, what the cohesiveness of water molecules? It's why water. I guess it's how water can travel uphill through capillary action. Like when you're siphoning water out of a basement, you fill your hose with water and you put, the one end that you drop has to be lower than the ground level in the basement. But we used to do this when I was a kid, and we would, you'd have to run the hose up over the window so it would suck the water out of the basement as long as the drop point was far enough below the basement to create a fall for the water. And
that's awesome. I have no idea. I didn't think of this, man. You're educating me. Seriously, continue.
Yeah, but the physical property is called capillary action. And
okay.
I think it's just because this is how trees move fluid through their trunks and limbs and things, and maybe even how our capillaries function to a certain degree. The capillaries being the smaller veins where the pump action is probably not as.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like this. Now, generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of art, but I did find a video featuring art that I wanted to share with you, gentlemen, in this audience. And what we're doing here is, and I can't even imagine this process, but you're about to see a piece of rice become something very special. You've seen something like this, Brian?
You mean the carver, the people who carve rice?
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Look at what this becomes, gentlemen. Look at what this becomes. Come on now.
What kind of reading glasses do you need for that?
Right.
I don't think my Walgreens goes above 3.
He chose to do a dragon. He can
Godzilla.
Man, look at that.
Godzilla.
Crazy. How?
What happens when you flip it?
You have to have such amazing motor control. I just can't even fathom.
Right. Very good point. I couldn't even. I'd be shaking.
That has absolutely nothing to do with capillary action. Nothing.
All right. So making a piece of rice, or whatever it is, roughly. I mean, something the size of a piece of rice, I should say. Turning that into Godzilla. While that is cool, is that as cool, or is it cooler than this next piece of art that I want to show you? Which, in fact, this next one I posted on my Twitter, and a lot of reaction to this, and rightfully so. Let's see here. This is a book, and then I want you to see what this person did with this book. I'm out of stalling tactics. Oh, there it is. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, there's the book that I was talking about. Watch what happens. This is cool. Look at this thing. How do you do this? You're folding the pages and turning it into that.
I mean, that's logo. Is that the Ferrari logo or something?
I think you're right. Isn't that insane?
I hope he trashed a bad book. I hope the book sucked. I hope it was a Kendi book or D'Angelo.
Okay, but see, at least with the Godzilla, I know what I'm trying to do. My brain can't even comprehend how to fold these pages to get that result. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that kind of adventure.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, my brain.
Well, there's a guy in my neighborhood that can do that kind of art on a pumpkin. And every Halloween, he'll do a pumpkin face honoring some influential individual that passed in the previous year. And I swear to you, I do not know. Kenny won't confess how he does it, but it's masterful. And if he doesn't have a website yet with all the pictures, he needs one, because there's got to be some trick to that. I mean, how does this person doing this?
And I'm not taking anything away from neighbor Kenny. He's carving on there, which my brain can understand carving. Okay. This, I wouldn't even know how to fold the page so that it's doing particular shapes. I don't know. I just love. I don't love a lot of art, but boy, when it's good, man, and it's impressive like this, it's just jaw dropping for me.
Yeah.
And by the way, I do like problem solvers, because people that think outside the box they're the ones that make the world go round and improve our lives. And I think this is such a great idea. Look at this.
Oh yeah, I've seen. Yeah, those are great. Yeah.
If you're gonna make a solar panel field or something like that, let's get a dual purpose out of it. Turn it into because this is what it looks like. Minus the solar panel, this is what it looks like at the Dallas airport. If you want covered parking, then they provide this stuff. But this is a dual purpose. We're getting energy at the same time and in fact, if you own the parking lot, I'm sure you could lease out the space to the electric company or something for the solar panels, and you're providing you're providing a service for people that want to park in the shade in Texas, and they're leaving their car for 2 weeks out in the sun at the airport. While I just love the dual purpose stuff like that. Anyway,
what a great idea! Yeah.
Sure is. Now, crime obviously an issue in many American cities.
Is it? What do you mean? Everything's
yeah,
great.
I've heard that. I've heard that somewhere. I want you to see
fine.
this guy. Now, this is a lot of work. The payoff is good, but I couldn't. I mean, my brain couldn't figure out this. But I like the solution. Watch this.
After an attempted theft of one of my vehicles, I went on a mission to figure out how to deter thieves from attempting to break in again and again. Yes, the vehicles all have alarms, glass break sensors, kill switches, and CAN bus shunts. Sure, those things will keep the cars from getting stolen, but they won't keep the glass from being broken again and again by punk thieves that don't realize I've installed all that expensive equipment. So I went on a mission to find a physical and visual deterrent. What you see here are stainless steel bollards that will survive a 25-mile-per-hour impact with a 5,000-pound vehicle. I figure it's hard to get going 25 miles per hour when the bollard is only 2 feet from your bumper. When not in use, these bollards sit flush in the ground and when extended, stand like 42-inch tall stainless steel soldiers.
Oh.
If you're interested in learning more about protecting your vehicle in your own driveway,
What do you got?
hit me in the comments. I'll set you up with my contractor, Holdaway Construction.
Holdaway Construction, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. That's interesting. So in your own driveway, your car isn't safe. I mean, that's one issue there. But also, that is interesting. I mean, I guess it doesn't stop people from breaking in and taking your laptop, but they can't take your car at least. But innovation, man. Innovation.
I had my windshield shattered, or not windshield, driver's side window was shattered because there was a couple of quarters sitting in the console.
What?
I think about 40 cents worth of change sitting in the console, and somebody smashed my driver's side window.
And that's all they took.
That's all there was to take, because I don't leave valuables in the car.
Yeah, man,
But it was a while ago, and that was Atlanta.
Oh wait, where in Atlanta?
Atlanta.
Because
Virginia Highlands, outside of Manuel's Tavern.
Oh wow,
famous place there, and left my car there because I didn't want to drive inebriated. Just being a good citizen.
You were being a good. That's what you get for being a good citizen.
And that's yep. Lost 45 cents on a window.
What's your deductible? Oh no. Oh, okay. Let me see here. No, it's interesting you said that because I've told this story before. How we lived way down in the city in Houston, had no issue with crime whatsoever. Moved from Houston's 3rd Ward to the outskirts of Omaha, Nebraska, in 2 weeks after moving there, where literally the only thing west of us before you get to Wyoming was corn. And the apartment complex we lived in, my stereo got stolen. And 2 weeks after moving to West Omaha,
in Omaha, you would just you don't think Omaha is crimey.
I know, crimey. That's the word. I'm trying to find. Okay, this is really cool, guys. This is not AI, because when you see a picture like this, your first thought is, okay, obviously this is just something a computer designed. This is actually from the inside of a sinkhole in China. The ground opened up, and as you can see there, if I were to zoom in here, let's see. Anyway, that's the surface way up there. Mm-hmm. But when you go down in there, that's looking up. These trees are growing down in this sinkhole. I just think it's the coolest thing. I don't really have a lot to say other than, isn't that the coolest thing you've ever seen?
Not if your house was on top of the sinkhole.
Not if your house is okay, but I have
other than that.
This has been here for a while. There are no houses. Right. This. I mean, it's long enough for the trees to grow.
But there was that horrible story of the guy whose bedroom was swallowed up by a sinkhole. So he's literally sleeping and then wakes up, 50 feet below ground.
Shut up. When was this? I did not.
I read that article. Yeah, I read that article, but I thought it was a stink hole.
Stink hole.
Oh, it's a sinkhole. I thought it was a sinkhole.
Different website. I read about it was.
Well, I've had teenage boys in my house, and I could swear their bedrooms were swallowed up by a stink hole. But
where was this happening, Brian?
I don't remember where. I just remember reading and thinking how terrifying that would be to suddenly be, plummeting when you're sleeping.
At what point do you wake up? Do you think this is a dream? I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think for 1 minute that there wasn't something about just watching Godzilla being carved out of a kernel of rice, looking at this sinkhole? I mean, we just drew a very big connection here, y'all. This is Godzilla. I think this is like the year of Godzilla. He's coming back or something. I don't know.
Is that right? Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. Hey, I'm. We've got our consumer alert segment of the show. Just like you're on local news here. Real quick, let me just alert everyone. There's been different variations of this video from people on social media that are warning others that be on the lookout. If you get an Amazon package, right, and it's got your name on it, but it doesn't have a return address, that's your key, okay? And then people say, okay, cool, Amazon. They open it up, and you look inside, and there might be a little trinket or something like that. This is how the story goes. And you go, what is this thing? And then apparently on the outside of the envelope is a QR code. Now, what I'm seeing in video after video, and maybe people can back me up in the comments here, is like if you scan that QR code, then apparently it takes over your phone, or it removes all the data from your phone or something. I guess the moral of the story is don't go randomly scanning QR codes, apparently. Just a heads up, because we're here
It's a weird feature to put on a phone.
To have a QR code that runs a code?
Yeah, that wipes your data. I haven't heard of that. Is that even possible?
I guess I don't know. I guess it runs a program. Like if you click on it, I honestly, I'm not willing to try.
Where did you hear this?
I'm seeing multiple videos on social media from reputable individuals who I've never seen before or since.
I gotta look into that one. I haven't seen that one.
Be careful. Don't scan any random QR codes. Let's see here. One last question here for you guys. No, hold on. Let me ask you this. This is going to be great because both of you guys have traveled the world. What is, if you can remember, the longest flight that you've ever been on? Because, and honestly, I got this story that just said the longest direct flight out of Texas is the 4th longest in the world. You know, congratulations. You can now fly 17 hours from Dallas to Brisbane, Australia. And then I thought, wait a minute, you know what? I'm hitting print on this because I know George has traveled to Europe, touring with the Connells. I know Brian travels the world over with the hold on, World Central Kitchen. And I'm just wondering, what is the longest flight? Because I will say, I have flown from Newark to Los Angeles, and I just about lost my mind. So I just wonder, how long have you guys flown before?
Who wants to go first? George, you want to go? No.
I mean, you're Brian. I yield. I give the talking stick to you on this.
I think Singapore was the longest because I had to go. It was New York to Seoul, South Korea, and then Seoul to Singapore. And it was
that was a direct flight.
No, it was 2 flights. It was.
Okay.
How long is the Seoul?
14 hours or so, maybe.
Wow.
And then I had a 7-hour layover in Seoul, and then I flew to Singapore from Seoul. That was that and South Africa, because that was New York, Dubai, Cape Town. So both of those are quite long. You know, the more you do it, the more you get used to it, and you just if you only fly a few times, then the New York to LA seems like the worst thing in the world. But once you've done it, when I was at the Maui wildfires for World Central Kitchen, and I had to come back for a wedding, so I went back and forth twice from New York to Maui, New York, and then I had to go down to Atlanta, and then for the wedding, and then turn around from Atlanta and go, and it was just like this endless flying. I was just like, I got myself an emergency row seat.
That's what I'm going to ask you. what is the seating like on a 14-hour flight? Is it normal? Is it a normal chair, or is it?
No, I mean, they're bad. Yeah, you have economy, business, and then first. I've never flown first, but
Okay.
you know, and you also have premium economy, and first. You know, obviously, economy is the least pleasant. Premium economy just gives you more legroom, which is really all I care about.
Yeah.
Business class is nice because you get, wined and dined. But if all you care about is comfort, then premium economy is definitely better than economy.
And George, what's the longest flight that you've been on that you recall?
I think probably the flight. This was some years ago, though, but flying to Hawaii from North Carolina was a double. It was a double, maybe even a triple flight, and I want to say it was 14 hours. It was pretty rough. But I mean, I really don't fly. I don't fly that much anymore. There was a time when we flew, but yeah, I don't really fly. We go to, my brother-in-law lives in Paris, so we fly to Paris, but we've got a direct flight, and that's really not a bad flight. But my niece just moved to Brisbane, Australia, and that flight, we've got people taking that flight from Dallas to Brisbane. I think they said 17 hours or something.
Yeah. It's better though. I mean, nowadays you have an iPad, you have the TVs on the seats that have 3 million movies on them. I load up my iPad with movies and TV shows I haven't watched and books and stuff. And so, I mean, the time goes by a lot better than back when you were just staring at the back of a seat.
Yeah.
And then when you had the one choice, like, we're going to be playing the movie in 1 hour. The movie is Kramer versus Kramer. I hope you haven't seen it. And then you have the screen just kind of in the. Nobody appreciates how miserable travel was.
Right. And Sky Mall magazine was like a gift from heaven.
Yeah. I mean, so I think when you think about like how awful it was back then, and nowadays it's like, that's fine. That's fine.
Yep.
We've got it easier.
Good point.
When you don't, having traveled with children internationally, which is one of the worst things in the world, when I don't have to travel with children, it's awesome. So I can read, I can sit down, I can sleep, I can have a glass of wine. I don't have to deal with the kid. So, it's all relative.
You might have to deal with other people's kids.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Poopy. So poopy kids, yeah. So one last thing here. I don't know why this topic keeps coming up on this podcast on the Friday live stream, but what is the closest you've ever been to death? And while you think of that, that's the second week in a row I've had that topic, because I have a story here out of Washington National Park, or in a Washington State National Park. I'm trying to find it here. North Cascades. So this guy goes hiking. He just goes on a regular hike on August 30th. And somehow he gets lost, disappears, 39-year-old man. And so he was discovered on August 30th. I'm sorry. The hike, the little walk he went and took in the park started on July 31st. And then he went missing. They couldn't find him. They just found him. He's from North Carolina, by the way, George. And he was just traveling out there. Apparently he was, they surmised that he was about probably a day from being dead, according to rescuers. And he was just in shock and all sorts of bad things, could barely even talk. He got part of that 4 weeks plus 4.5 weeks. 2 of those weeks he was stuck in one spot, immobile and stuck for 2 weeks. I think from mud or something like that.
He was stuck in mud.
I'm trying to figure out what he was stuck in
for 2 weeks. So what did he eat?
Yeah, I'm trying to find here. And by the way, just so you know,
he ate bugs.
He ate bugs, and his dog wasn't very helpful apparently, because rescuers found his dog not with him.
With a QR code on the back.
A QR code, and the next thing you know,
all together.
So I just wondered. I don't have all of the details that you rightfully asked, Brian. As this
he didn't
story.
Eat for 2 weeks. Don't worry about it. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I guess the bottom line is, how close have you been to death? Stop making it about this guy. Have you ever been in a life-threatening situation, Brian?
While skiing on the edge of a volcano. No, I'm
Wait.
kidding. I'm lying. No,
yeah, something there.
Yeah.
I think the thing that's there. I mean, I had an almost auto accident once when I was a teenage driver. That was fairly terrifying. But that's the only thing that really sticks out is like, man, you could have died. But
yeah.
Not,
All right,
George,
anything near death in your past?
I got a whopper.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So about 8 or 9 years ago, my wife and my youngest son went to Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, and there was a tropical storm off the coast. And we were staying at the Blockade Runner. It's a big hotel right on the beach, and we would go there from time to time just for when we needed a weekend away. And we were out on the beach, and the storm appeared to be very quiet. The waves became very rideable. They were large waves, but I'm a body surfer, and so I took my boogie board out, and I said to Amelia and David, I said, look, I'm just going to go ride one wave. And everybody was doing it. It was a beautiful day. You just wouldn't believe how beautiful it was. And all these people were going out. People's kids were going out in the water. And I went out, and I was going out, and I was getting close to the place I was going to catch a wave, and I missed a wave, and all of a sudden the wind picked up, and there was a guy out in the water deeper than where I was, and he did not have a boogie board or a surfboard or anything to help him stay afloat. And he was panicking. And he said he was trying to look inland, and he said, did my daughters get in? Did my daughters make it in? And I had seen him at breakfast with his daughters. And so I said, yes, your daughters are in. They came in before I even got in the water. So they're out. And he said, are you sure? Are you sure? And I said, they're out. And I said, come over here. And I started paddling towards him so he could hold on to my board. I thought he was drowning. And at that point, I turned around and looked inland, and I realized that we have been swept way out. We've gotten, the wind has pulled us out. And there's the lifeguards have these lifeguards have these oops, did I lose you?
No, I got you.
Yeah, I see you.
You're where are you?
We see you.
You see me, but I don't see you.
Okay, you look, everything's perfect.
Yeah.
So the lifeguards came out with the jet ski.
Oh wow.
And they've got this rope on the back of the jet ski and this sort of like, sleeping bag sized flotation device. And me and this guy get up on it, and I put the boogie board up under me, and we start riding in towards shore. And the lifeguard driving us in panics. He says, there's no way we're going to make it. This wave is right on our backs. So he does this arching turn and turns back to go over the wave. And when he goes over the wave, the jet ski flips over and falls right on top of us, miraculously misses our bodies. And the lifeguard is thrown off of it. There's more waves brewing. And this jet ski has one of those features to where the engine doesn't go off. It starts going in a slow circle. And so the lifeguard swims over, tells us to stay put. I was the only one that stayed on. And the other guy pulled the other guy on. The lifeguard gets on, hits the gas button just in time. And we make it into shore. And my wife and my son are on the beach witnessing the walkie-talkie talk that's going on regarding us, and they are just beside themselves watching this thing happen. And I felt like a complete idiot, but at the same time, I could not abandon this guy.
Sure.
I feel like we would have. I feel like he would have been lost forever if I had not stayed with him.
Yeah.
It was really one of those crazy things, and he couldn't even make eye contact with me the rest of the weekend. We had breakfast the next day, and down in the restaurant, and he just walked right by. There was something really off, that he didn't have this awareness.
Not a thank you.
Yeah, or just even some like shared survival of
right.
That. I felt really deprived of like not even just like a clasp or a shake, saying we survived a really bizarre together. I feel like we should at least say introduce ourselves, but
right.
I didn't get anything from him, and
no,
it was
not
really
even. Yeah, man. I've told this story before. What are the big rock walls called? The jetty or whatever out there in the ocean. When I was 6th, 7th grade, the summer between, I went on a boogie board in Hawaii, and I somehow ended up on the other side of those rocks. And there was nothing, just Pacific Ocean. Like I couldn't see anything. And then these two angels of these two surfers, these two guys came and dragged me to the other side of the rocks, or else I would have been just over in Japan. I don't mess around with the ocean anymore.
Yeah, the ocean will take you away.
My dog would have been like, sorry.
Yeah. Look.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be on shore if you need me.
Yeah.
Way to bring it home, Brian. Guys, I'm so grateful for your time today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, dude.
If you want to hear their awesome life stories, it's over at youtube.com/atthemic. Just go to the playlist of life stories. Brian is episode 44. George is episode 118. Brian has his questionable material podcast he does with Jack Helmuth, and support the World Central Kitchen. Why can't I say World Central Kitchen?
It's not fancy words.
It's what is it with my
very
mouth?
simple words.
Great organization there. George of the Connells, back in the day, he is just coming up with some new music that will be available. Look for George Huntley soon on Spotify, iTunes, and of course he is touring throughout the Southeast. His next show, if you're anywhere near Greenville, North Carolina, it's coming up on September 27th at the State Theater. I'm looking forward to seeing him live in Raleigh in March. So there.
Man, he just made me excited.
Boom. All right. Very good. Guys, thank you so much for making time. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll see everybody here. Thank you. I'll see everybody Thursday.
Great meeting you, Brian.
Yeah, nice meeting you, George.
At 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll talk about Alaska, and then we'll, of course, do the Friday live stream at 2 p.m. Eastern a week from today. Until then, everyone be safe, and we will see y'all later.